Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce how to use the Scratch platform, which is a fantastic tool for creating interactive projects and animations. I will also guide you on how to design an English teaching animation using Scratch, a platform that is both user-friendly and versatile. Okay, let's start our lesson today. First, please open the browser on your computer and then search for Scratch. In the search bar, SCRATCH, and you will see the first link, Scratch MIT. Let's click on this first webpage link. Now, at this point, here basically is the starting page of Scratch. If you have tried using it before, or if you have registered an account, you can click on Sign In here. If you haven't used it before, you can click on Join Scratch. After entering your relevant information, input your username, set your password, and you can basically create your own account. Okay, once that's done, you can then proceed to click on the sign in action. Okay. Alright then, let's proceed to sign in. The process is very simple, and I believe most students should have no problem with it. Alright, once you click on sign in, and you see your account name appear in the top right corner, it means you have successfully signed into Scratch. Then next on this page, we can see there are many pre-designed examples of games or animations. So students, if you have time, you can click in and see what these projects look like. You can also see some of the programming, content, and concepts inside. Okay, alright, if there are no issues, let's click on the top right corner where there's a Create button. From here, we can start a new project for today. Oh, okay, let's click on it. Alright, what you are currently seeing is the main editing interface of Scratch that we will be introducing today. Students, in this session, we are going to thoroughly explore and discuss in detail some of the various important features and practical applications related to the usage methods of the entire Scratch editing area. First, before you actually start writing the program, we need you to rename each project. This way, it will be easier for you to identify the content of your project later. You can do this in the box located at the top center. Initially, there is no project name. It is set to the default untitled project name. You can rename your project, for example, English. Okay, for example, we can name it English Game as the project name. Okay, after setting it up, don't worry because it is a completely cloud-based service. So, any command you execute will be saved online in real time. There will be a message icon here to inform you that any changes you have made have already been saved. Okay, so there's no need to worry. Alright, next we will introduce the contents of the entire function area. First, we'll start from the far right. Over here, on the far right, is essentially the main program command line editor. It has a total of 3 small tabs. The first tab, Code, basically includes all the types of program commands that can be used in Scratch. Here, it includes motion to control the actions of the characters inside, looks to control some appearances and expressions, okay, and sound. If you want to produce certain sounds, you can set it up here. Then there are some other related program command operations, which we will introduce to the students one by one later. So From this code tab here, we can see that if students want to write program commands, they basically select the commands they want to use from this area to write them. Okay? The second backdrop refers to some settings of the stage or background. The third is sound, which means if you have some sounds in your animation or game, if you have placed some sound elements, then you mainly control the volume, whether it will fade in or fade out, and these are basically controlled here. Okay, all right. So our students can roughly understand that the left side mainly deals with the programming part, and the large blank area in the middle is your programming editing area. Okay, all the programs you need to write are basically placed in this area. Then students might ask, hey teacher, how do we edit the program? It's very, very simple. For example, if I want to control the actions of a certain character, okay, I want to control the actions of this little cat, then you just need to select this cat character and then select the motion type of command block. Then next, we select this move 10 steps. Okay, you just need to use the mouse to drag the command you want to use into the editing area, and basically you have completed the design of your first program in programming language. Then in here, because every program essentially needs an area to tell the computer where the program typically starts, we usually go to the event category and select the when the green flag clicked command to place it at the very beginning of all programs. This means that when I click the green flag in the upper right corner of the screen, my program will start executing. Let's give it a try. When we have now written a program, move 10 steps. I click the green flag, click, 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 and every time I click it, it moves forward 10 steps. Okay, this is the area where we write our programs. Okay, all right, what's next? Just now, while clicking this green flag, did you notice that when the program runs, the little cat on the right moves forward? It reflects what my program actually looks like. So, the top right area is basically a preview section. It shows you what your current program looks like when executed. So you can quickly preview here and make rapid adjustments to your program instructions. Okay, all right. Next, since we now know that the top right is a program preview area, below it, there are two very important sections. One is called the sprite area, and the other is the stage area. Now, what we mean by sprite refers to the character. Okay, so you can set the characters you want in this area, whether adding or removing them. For example, if I don't want to use the cat character in this story, you just need to click on the trash can icon at the top right of the character and confirm. Then you can basically remove this character. Now, what if I want to add a character? It's very simple. In the bottom right corner, there's a cat icon. Click on it and you can see a variety of different characters here. Okay, there are types like animals, people, and then there are dancing, music, sports, food, fashion, okay, or letters. Okay, you can choose what you need. For example, say I want this dinosaur icon right now. Okay, then I can click on it and it will be added. Inside, there are some settings that students can adjust. For example, this dinosaur might be too big for me and I want it smaller, so you can click on size here. For example, say we reduce it, shrink it to 60. Okay, it shrinks. Okay, so basically you can see some initial appearances here. All right, speaking of appearance, you'll see here that when you click on this character, the original code tab changes to custom. If you click on it, you'll find that in Scratch, different characters have multiple small images set up, such as various poses and expressions, allowing your animation to have a sense of movement and animation. For example, and you will notice that these images are a variety of which are designed to create an effect of movement and animation. For instance, students in this pattern, within this character, he has basically set up 4 different action patterns. The first image, the second image, the third image, the fourth image. So you can make these images display continuously, and it will look like an animation as if this little dinosaur is walking. Okay, so you can decide which images you want to keep and which ones you don't need to keep. For example, this image of shouting towards the sky is not needed, so I select the action to clear it. Okay, and that's it. Good. Next, let's return to the programming instructions section. Alright, so far we have given a preliminary introduction to how to use the character area. Next, we return to the last block in the bottom right corner, called the stage area. The stage area is basically where every story will have a scene, so we will also set a scene in our animation. So how do we add a new scene? It's very simple. We just need to simply click here and select a scene that we need. For example, for instance, in this story, I want the dinosaur to start from the desert as the beginning of this particular story. So I can select what is called desert scene. Okay, so once you click, you'll notice, hey, great, my scene, my entire preview area already shows a desert scene, and my dinosaur is already in this scene. Then you might think, hey, teacher, surely the whole story can't just take place in the desert, right? I still need to add a second scene, so what should I do? Then you can click on this. The exact same action, then select another new scene. For example, you might want the dinosaur to walk from the desert to walk into the moon might be a bit too much. Let's have it walk to a basketball court instead. Okay, for example, we walk from the desert to the basketball court, although it's not very logical, but it's fine, we'll just treat it as practice. Okay, you'll find that you've added another scene called the basketball court, but you might wonder, hey, teacher, where did my desert scene go? Well, I can come over and take a look. When we click on this stage area, you can see that the label name next to the code tab has changed from custom to Tata backdrops. If you click on it, you'll discover, oh, it turns out that currently I have a total of 3 scenes, including the first completely blank one, the second desert, and the third basketball court. Now the first one, if we don't need it, we can click the X. Okay, so our main venues are these 2. So please remember, when you are setting up the program and writing the code, when you need to specify which background you are moving from and to which background, you will need to set the position of the scene it needs to reach. The entire design of the program will be explained to the students later. Okay. Alright, so up to this point, students have gained a preliminary understanding of the functional distribution areas of the Scratch interface. The right side is mainly the program's functional area, the middle is the coding area, the upper right corner is the preview area, and the 2 parts in the lower right corner are for students to decide which characters you want to use and which scenes you want to use. Okay, alright, up to this point we have provided a basic introduction to the entire Scratch interface. Alright, so next up we have already set up some scenes in this project and story. And we have also set up some characters in our story. Then we need to see how we can navigate our characters within these scenes and narrative. Okay, because the most important thing in animation is the characters' actions and what they say. Okay, alright, so first of all, let's have this dinosaur, the one that is in the desert, start to have some movement. Now, how do we do it since it's movement? We go to the right hand side. The left hand side in this code. section and find a category called motion, okay? After finding the motion category, it contains various types of actions like moving and rotating. So we just mentioned, I want this dinosaur to move from the left to the right. Okay, so I chose the action, move 10 steps, to move 10 steps to the right. No? Okay, after you place this program command in the middle area, you might think, hey, I want it to move, so I click on the green flag to execute it. Hey, you'll find, teacher, this program can't move. I clearly set a move 10 steps, but it can't execute. Okay, because in programming, you basically have to tell the computer when this program command should start. So, in this case, we only told the computer that there is a command for the dinosaur to move forward 10 steps, but we didn't specify the starting point. So, we click on the event category, and then we'll find that when the green flag is clicked, this command, we drag it into the editing area and place it above the move 10 steps command. Okay, because program commands are basically executed from top to bottom continuously. So, after this command is placed, it becomes complete. You see, let's take a look at the magic. After we place it, when we click the green flag, hey, it moves. So, this means that our program can already run. Okay, because we have already told the robot, told the computer that when the green flag is clicked, it should execute the following program commands. Okay, now we just wrote this for the dinosaur. Okay, because we are currently setting it for this dinosaur and it moves 10 steps to the right. However, when we click it, it only moves forward by itself and we have to click it each time for it to move. Click once, it moves, click once, it moves. Is there a way for us to click once and then, like in an animation, it moves to the right by itself? Of course, at this point, we think about making it automatically and continuously move forward to the right. This means the move 10 steps command needs to be executed repeatedly and continuously, then it will move forward, right? So, you have two methods. The first method, the most basic and rudimentary way, is to directly select motion and then continuously add several move commands. Okay, keep adding them, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, it will move forward. Okay, however, this method is not what we expect or want to use. What we want to use should be this. In control, there is something called repeat, which is the concept of a loop, allowing the program to automatically execute repeated actions. So next, we place this repeat command, the loop command, and then we put it up. Okay, let's take a look at the effect. When we set the command to move forward 10 steps to repeat 10 times. Okay, this is the main function of the repeat command. I will click it, okay, it moves forward. Now, if you want it to go further, then of course you just need to increase this number. For example, increase it to 20, and let's see the effect. Hey, it goes much further. Okay, alright, up to this point, we have successfully made the dinosaur move from left to right. Up to here, there should be no problem for everyone. However, the dinosaur feels very static when it moves. It should look like it's walking, with left foot, right foot, or at least some movement. So how can we make this character move? Let's recall a bit. When we first introduced the character, we mentioned a tab called Costume. That's right, it's right here. We click on the Costume page, and we'll find that in Scratch, different characters actually have some preset images for different actions. Yeah. For this dinosaur character, we can see that it has one action like this and another one where the leg is lifted back and the tail is raised. So if we continuously make these two images appear repeatedly, it seems like it's moving forward, right? Then with The direction of its movement, it looks like it's vividly moving forward. So to achieve this effect, what can we do? We can do it like this, in a way that is easy to understand. We can toggle between different images. So basically, we can select this. Looks, because it's just an appearance. So its appearance, this is the dinosaur's appearance. Basically, we call it select next costume. Hey, while it's moving, it also switches between its different images. Okay, then it will have more of a moving feel, a dynamic feel. Let's see the effect like this. It looks pretty good, but the tail is swinging too fast. The actions are switching too quickly. Let's slow down the speed a bit during the switching process. Okay, so here in control, in control, there's something called wait, which means during the switching, moving, and switching of photos, it pauses a bit between the switching and the photos. Let's make it pause for 0.5 seconds. Okay, then after pausing for 0.5 seconds, repeat this action. Let's watch it again to see how the effect is. Okay. Hey, does this look much better? The speed is slightly slower, and we can see the process of the images switching more clearly. And then, because the switching between these photos makes it seem like the dinosaur is really walking, moving from left to right. Now, if you think this action is too slow, you can reduce the waiting time. For example, we can switch to 0.2 seconds. Okay, it was 0.5 just now. So changing it to 0.2 should make it faster and smoother. Let's check the effect. Okay, it seems much better now. Okay, so far we've successfully moved the dinosaur from the left to the right. But have you noticed that every time I finish testing the game after testing this animation, I have to do a very repetitive and somewhat annoying action, which is to drag the dinosaur back to the original starting point. So can I design a program that allows me to avoid doing this action every time I run it? Because this action is quite bothersome. So how do we do it? We can do it. How can we do it? Because it is about distinguishing the address, right? So we can click on move. Oh, sorry, not move. It's in the motion command section. Then we focus our attention on the character area here. You'll notice if this is the position you want, and you want the dinosaur to start from this position every time, we can carefully observe which area the dinosaur is currently in and where the x-axis and y-axis areas are respectively. Okay, it tells us that when the dinosaur is in this place, its x-axis area is at -196, and its y-axis area is at -119. Then you can observe that at different positions, the numbers will automatically change. So after you adjust to your desired starting position, you can remember what the x-axis and y-axis numbers are. Then next we perform an action. In the motion command section, there is a command called set x to a certain place, and we first bring it in, then another one. The other one is which area should we set? Y to. Okay, then after you set the X area, it will basically preset to your current position. After setting it up, what's next? It's very simple. You just need to place it at the very beginning of all the program commands. Every time you click the green flag again, the first action is not to let the dinosaur start running, but to first reset the dinosaur's position, then proceed with the following actions. Okay, let's take a look. For example, we are now executing it for the first time. All right. Okay, this time the program has already been executed, so next I want to test it a second time. I click it again. Did you notice something magical happened? It will automatically reset the dinosaur to the original starting point and then begin executing the next program. Okay, so up to this point, Students have basically learned how to control the movement of characters within your animation. Alright, there are characters, there are scenes, so what's next? You definitely need dialogue, otherwise it wouldn't be a story, there would be no content, So, how do you make the dialogue box appear? Here. Because the dialogue box is like a screen, so we will basically be in this area. Look at this region, you click on it, and here it will say, hey, my dinosaur is walking from left to right. It basically needs to speak, and it can speak for a few seconds, or you can have it keep speaking with the dialogue box continuously appearing. For example, I want this dinosaur to be speaking while it is walking, and the duration of the speech will basically last for 3 seconds. Let's say 2 seconds. Okay, maintain it for 2 seconds. Then what does it want to say? Since it's in the desert, it would say, I am thirsty. Okay, for example, as it says this sentence, it complains about being so thirsty while walking. Now, let's see what kind of situation this would be. Oh, no, if we do it this way, you'll notice that every time it finishes saying, I am thirsty, the scene will switch, making the whole program very laggy. So this is not the effect we want. Okay, I'll remove it first. Basically, we will do it like this. Bye. Okay, I will use this say. Action. This action allows it to move while simultaneously and efficiently saying, I am thirsty. Okay, good. Let's take a look at its effect. Hey, okay, as long as it walks normally, it won't interfere. There won't be any interference with the timing. So, as it moves from left to right, it will keep saying, I am so thirsty, I am so thirsty. Okay, good. Up to this point, we have basically introduced to the students how a character can move in a scene and present a dialogue box. Okay? Alright, students, we have just learned how to use it. The Scratch software, this platform, right? Then it helps us to construct the background of a story and then place a character in this background. In this example, I placed a dinosaur character, and we used some programming design to make the dinosaur walk from left to right and say some English dialogue. Well, having only one character in a story is too monotonous, right? We hope to have another character to interact with it. So next, we will spend a little time introducing to the students how to add another character in a Scratch interface and how to make this character interact with the first character. How should I design my program? Okay, well, first of all, since we want the two characters to have a conversation, of course, I need to add another character. So we first add a new character in the character area here. Our first character was a dinosaur. So for the second character, let's see what's interesting. Okay, let's add something very unconventional. Let's go with the logical starfish character. Okay, let's click on it. Alright, after placing the starfish character here, we want the dinosaur to walk to this spot and then emerge from another place. So, if we want this character to move from right to left, it's obvious that the direction its face is pointing is incorrect. First, regarding its size, let's slightly reduce it. So in the size section, we'll adjust it to 60. Alright, okay, this size seems more appropriate. Next, let's go back to what we mentioned earlier. Select the starfish character under Custom, and then click on Costumes. Here, we have the two different small images we saw earlier. Then we consider whether we need to use them. The most important thing here is because we want to. The starfish's face is facing left instead of right, so there's a term called flip horizontal. This is a control button. Click on it. Okay, and you'll see that it can basically face left. All right, then let's go back to the coding area. Let's recall what we wanted the coding to look like. We want the dinosaur to move from left to right. After it finishes speaking, the starfish will appear to have a conversation with it. So next, we need to tell the code that when the dinosaur finishes a certain action, it should call the starfish to remind it to come on stage. Okay, here we will use a new coding command, which we call broadcast. Where is this broadcast command? Let's click to take a look. Sorry, it should be event. After we select the event category here, we will see a command called broadcast message 1. This command means that when the code executes to this point, it will send a command called message 1, as long as a character receives the message 1 command. It will start executing the subsequent actions. Okay, it's somewhat like a call or reminder action. So when we reach this point, basically after the dinosaur finishes executing, it says, oh, someone is coming, someone is here, and then it issues a broadcast request, then calls the starfish to quickly come on stage. Okay, up to this point, we have basically completed the dinosaur's task. Next, we select the starfish character. As for the starfish character, at the beginning, we certainly want it not to appear on the screen, right? We want it to be hidden initially, because that makes logical sense. At first, only the dinosaur is on stage, and then the starfish comes in. So we can do it like this. At the beginning, when the green flag is clicked, the appearance of the starfish is basically hidden. Okay, at the beginning it is not visible. Okay, is everything fine so far? Let's try it out. You'll see, when we execute this command, the starfish over here disappears. Okay. Oh, somebody's coming. Okay, it broadcasts, but the starfish still doesn't appear because our script only goes up to where we wrote that. Right? When the green flag is clicked, the starfish should be hidden. But I didn't tell it to make the starfish appear when it was small. So next, we will do something else. Because up to this point, the dinosaur has just sent a call command asking if the starfish should come on stage, right? So next, we need to tell the starfish, hey, you should receive the command. So this event, we will put this in as, when I receive message 1, what action should I start doing when I receive the command of message 1? Okay, then we start by hiding initially. So what is the next thing we need to do? Make the sea cucumber laugh. So we bring the show up, and then the starfish must move from its position to the left in front of the dinosaur. Okay, as we just mentioned, Hisense's position is based on the position we just placed it. Hisense's position is 2501 minus 140, so we hope that Hisense will be at this position at the beginning and then start moving forward. So here in motion, we set X here and set Y. It's exactly the same as what we did with the dinosaur character. Next, we want the dinosaur, UOT, to move 10 steps to the right and left. Okay, and since it moves to the left, we then set it to negative 10 degrees. Then next, it needs to keep moving. Okay, it repeats the movement. First, we let it move and see, because I don't know how many steps it needs to take to reach there. So let's just have it take, say, 5 steps. Okay, let's give it a try. Execute. Okay, the starfish came out. Okay, it seems like it didn't go not far enough because it seems to have walked when it came out, but not far enough, so we want it to walk a little bit more. So we set it to 20, and it seems that 20 is more suitable. Let's try it again. Second rate. Oh, someone is coming over here. Oh dear, as it was moving, it went too far and they collided. So we probably set it to 15. Okay, that looks about right. And then during the movement process just now, it seemed a bit fast, so we need it to slow down a little. We want it to wait a bit during the movement, so we choose wait here and set it to 0.2 seconds. Okay. Now let's see if this effect will be better. Okay, the dinosaur moves to this side, and then let's say, oh, it sees someone coming, then the starfish comes out. Okay, at this position it looks very fitting. Next, we would like the starfish to start talking after it reaches the spot. So, we'll have the starfish start speaking, like saying, hello, nice to meet you. For example, like this. Well, hello, why are you here? I was just wondering, what brings you to this place? Alright, okay, then. This way there will be a conversation. Let's take a look at their conversation. The dinosaur comes over, then shows up, comes out of the hole, walks to a specific position, and speaks. Okay, up to this point, we have basically and essentially completed the way for the two characters to interact with each other smoothly, efficiently, and effectively in a comprehensive manner. Okay. Students, we have just given a basic introduction to the programming methods for interaction between two characters in Scratch. Next, we will continue with the programming techniques we just introduced and then explain how to freely switch scenes in a story. Because we know that a complete story, in addition to having multiple characters interact, requires more richness. Typically, events do not occur in a single scene. They may switch to different scenes to carry out subsequent tasks or advance the storyline. So next, we will apply some of the programming commands we just introduced, and then use the command to switch scenes to teach students how to make their story continue more completely. Okay, alright. The commands we just executed involved the dinosaur coming out to speak, followed by the starfish, which also said a few words, or says, okay, let's first take a quick look at the result of the program commands we just executed, okay? Alright, a little bit of adjustment. I'll first switch the stage back to the normal place. Alright, okay. So this is what we just did with the program commands. Okay. The dinosaur starts moving to the right and says, I'm thirsty. Then he says, oh, someone is coming. And then the starfish is brought out. Then talk about, oh, why are you here? Let's go to the beach. Then the dinosaur says, okay, definitely the dinosaur has to say, let's go to the beach. Then after the starfish finishes saying, let's go to the beach, he needs to send a signal to tell the dinosaur, hey, you should speak now. Like, the dinosaur needs to say, okay. So we use the techniques we just learned. And in the event section, we say when receive. Remember, the key is to be on the dinosaur character. Select when I receive, go to the beach prompt. Then the dinosaur needs to speak. It needs to say, okay. Alright, okay. Okay, it needs to say this line. Alright, let's see what the entire program execution looks like. I'm thirsty. Oh, someone is... Hello, why are you here? Let's go to the beach. Okay. Alright, up to this point they have basically, in this scene, a complete dialogue. So what do they need to do next? They need to simultaneously move out, okay? Move out of the scene. So, After finishing this action, when the dinosaur finishes saying, okay, it needs to tell the starfish, hey, starfish, you should start moving to the right and exit the stage. We need to go out together. So students should know what command we need to use now. Use the broadcast command, okay? And then we need to create a new message called move out, move out, move out, okay. Then I will send a move out prompt, and at the same time, we also perform the move action and then directly walk out. Okay, just repeat. And then we directly repeated it 15 times. And then move, step, and when moving, we just saw that it was moving too fast, so we let it move a little slower. Okay, move, then pause for 0.2 seconds each time. Alright, up to this point, basically, it has moved out, then we want it to move out, and at the same time hide itself, okay? So it doesn't show its tail to keep the screen clean. Okay, up to this point, it will basically be hidden. And then, because we just sent a move out signal, so we also need to tell the starfish, when you receive the move out signal, how should you move? So similarly, I chose when I receive, move out. When I receive the command from the dinosaur to move out together, what action should I take? I need to move, and then repeatedly move, continuously move. Okay, so you will find that actually this command can be used repeatedly. See, okay, move, for example, move 20 steps. Okay, moved, let's say 15. Okay, moved 15, then 10 steps. And then control it a bit to make the movement smoother. 0.2 seconds. Next, compare. The special part is that because it needs to move out, this starfish needs to move out. If it moves directly to the right, it looks like the starfish is moving backward, which makes the movement seem not quite right, not quite reasonable. So we need to let this starfish turn in a direction before moving out. So how do we do that? At this point, we need to adjust the direction the starfish is facing. So I then select the starfish character and click on costumes. In here, in fact, we can, because it originally has another smiling face, another expression, which is facing another direction. We can certainly directly choose this one as the character we want to switch to. We can also let the starfish keep this smiling, happy expression and then flip it. How do we do it? We just right click with the mouse, then select duplicate, click on this duplicate function, and it will create a copy of this A2 pattern, this image. Next, we use the flip horizontal function. Click on it, and you will find that the original expression can be flipped to face the right side. Okay, then up to this point, we have basically added another starfish, a 2 image. Then we return to this command. We just say, you see, when I actually receive the move out command before I move, I first switch my orientation to the other side. So in fact, here we will do it like this. Okay, here we will do it like this. Here there is something called switch costume. Switch the costume to A2 before I move, and then proceed to move. Okay, in this way, it will look like a more reasonable way of moving. It will first turn, then move, and after moving out, we will let it hide. Disappear, because it means moving out of the frame. Alright, okay, let's see if the whole process is as we imagined. Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, someone is coming. Okay, the starfish has entered. Okay, send the signal. Okay. Switch sides. Move out quickly. Move out. All right, up to this point, basically and efficiently, the first scene of your story is completed. Next, we would like the story to move into the second scene. So how do we smoothly transition into the second scene? We will wait until we think about it. We just executed the action of the dinosaur at the end of the scene movement, right? The dinosaur was more to the left, so it was the last to appear. Therefore, after the dinosaur is hidden, we add one more command to smoothly transition the scene. That is, in the look section, there is something called next backdrop. Please, after this action, help me automatically switch to the next backdrop. Here, we need to first confirm what our next backdrop is, because we just wanted to move to the beach, right? They are going to the beach, to the seaside. So here, we click on stages, then click on backdrop. Okay, currently in the backdrops, there is only the desert backdrop, so we need to quickly add another backdrop. Click, and then we add a Malibu beach image. Click on it. Okay, so if we choose the first scene as this one, then finally the next, backdrop will switch to Malibu Beach. Basically, it's done, successfully completing the image. Transition. Okay, now let's see, when we execute it like this, whether this image can follow the story and proceed as we expected. Okay. The starfish is called out and then it speaks. Then, next slide, the dinosaur sends a message saying, let's move out together. After moving, it automatically switches to the next scene. Then, after the next scene, you can continue to call out the dinosaur and the starfish, such as the T-Rex and the sea star, and proceed with the dialogue and interaction, and so on. You can gradually build up and create a series of meaningful and story-driven content. Okay, so that's what we taught students today, how to use the Scratch programming language in a comprehensive manner to help students plan an interactive and thoroughly engaging English teaching content. Okay, now we'll leave the time for the students to practice and operate.